Joining us tonight, two distinguished senators, Senator Claire McCaskill, Democrat from Missouri, and Senator John Hoeven, Republican from North Dakota. Thanks for both of you. Senator McCaskill, if I can begin with you, it's so disturbing to read about the Obama phone calls to block this. Let me just ask you, when the president is making these calls to get votes against Keystone, what exactly was he saying? What was his argument? Do you know?
I don't know. I didn't receive one of those phone calls. I've been in favor of Keystone and have said so clearly. And so I think he knows me well enough to know that a phone call to me from him is not going to make a difference if I've made up my mind. Well,
I appreciate that, and I appreciate your vote. But was there any talk in the cloakroom about this? I mean, I guess what I'm asking is, what was the president's main line? You know, labor is for this, business is for this, jobs are at stake, gasoline prices are whatever, they're moving towards $4, $5, maybe $6. It's a huge economic and political issue. What's his line? What's his argumentation? I'd even ask you, what's his policy?
You know, I think I obviously disagree with the president on this, so it's hard for me to sit here and explain to you what his thoughts are. But if I were to guess, it would be that he doesn't believe that Congress should take over the approval process, that this is a matter of the time involved and making sure the environmental studies are in place, and that this is being rushed in a way that's not responsible, and that Congress should allow the process to take its time. And I believe that we should try to jumpstart this as quickly as possible, which is why I disagreed with the president.
I hear you, and I thank you for that. Senator Hoeven, welcome. I want to ask you the same question. Have you heard what these phone calls were? I mean, you all got 56 votes. That's a lot closer than many people thought. And were there any promises made? Did it come down to promises from the president or by the president to some of these other Democrats?
Larry, good to be with you, and I want to thank Senator McCaskill for voting in support of this very important legislation. And you got to remember, this has been under study for 3.5 years. So what the president is saying is somehow it needs to be studied more. And come on, 3.5 years. And as far as the Nebraska route, which was the only route where there'd been any question, we fully address that. We say, look, whatever additional time is needed there, you can take it. But we need to get this project underway. You've got gas prices going up every day. This will bring more Canadian crude to our country, but also more crude from my home state of North Dakota and from Montana, reduce our dependence on Middle Eastern oil. I mean, this is a project, this is vital infrastructure, and we need to move forward.
Senator McCaskill, how do you read presidential energy policy? Can you walk through it? Because I am so confused about this. Is he for just clean energy? He talks about algae. He wants to subsidize electric energy, even though that requires fossil fuels? I'm just plain confused.
Well, we did net export oil last year. We are drilling more and bringing out of wells more domestic oil in this country than has occurred in decades and decades and decades. They have continued to give more leases, including some offshore and in the Arctic. So I think that there is a desire by this administration to do more. I think I disagreed with the president on the Keystone, and I hope we get the Keystone done quickly. But I do think the president is not opposed to drilling, not opposed to natural gas, and not opposed to oil.
Senator Hoeven, I also noticed that the offshore drilling amendment failed. That's another setback. I mean, there's just so much out there. Why did that happen? What was the vote? What are people saying about that?
Larry, we're still importing 30% of our crude from places like the Middle East and Venezuela. And with what's going on in the world, that makes absolutely no sense. We can produce the crude that we need both here, offshore, and with Canada, you know, our closest friend and trading partner. But we've got to get an administration that will work with us. We actually had 58 votes today. We were missing 2 of our Republican members. We have good bipartisan support, and we're going to keep working to get this done. But you know, the president says all of the above, but he's not doing it. He's preventing us from doing the things we need to do to produce energy in this country.
Since it was your amendment, Senator Hoeven, let me just ask you, is there another round here, or is it just dead for all of 2012?
No, this gives us great momentum. We're going to continue to work with the House on the highway bill, so you could still see this as part of the highway bill. If not, we've got other legislation, other energy packages, which we'll be putting forward to continue to work to get this done.
Senator McCaskill, why do you think gasoline prices are so high right now? And is it connected to Keystone, and is it connected to our energy policy?
I think it's complicated. It's one of those things that if you try to put it in a soundbite, or if you do something ridiculously irresponsible and say that a president can make gas $2.50 a gallon, which is enough to make me, almost laugh out loud. As you well know, this is complicated. It's about speculation. It's about what's going on in the Middle East. It's about refining capacity being shut down by some oil companies. It's about very cheap natural gas right now. Them trying to balance, can we raise the price a little bit because we're getting killed over here by natural gas? This is hard stuff. And if it was easy as turning off or on a light switch, I guarantee you somebody would have hit that light switch in Washington a long time ago.
All right, until the next round of votes, I hope there's another round. I hope you win this round, but we will see. Senator Claire McCaskill, thank you very much. Senator John Hoeven, I appreciate your time very much.
Thank you.